Good morning. Welcome to day 33, episode 4. Trading Momo. Let's see what we have today. Hopefully this won't be a third no trade day in a row. That would be really frustrating because yesterday we had a ton of big moves. AEHL moved yesterday after 12 from 260 all the way up to 636 and came back down a little bit during after hours and pre-market. QUCY ended up curling back up to the highs, punching through from 50 cents all the way up to $1.90 and then $2.12 today during pre-market. So that made a big move. We had Erna made a big move 2 days ago. Continued to go sideways. Did curl back up to 14. So BR curled back up to the high of the previous day. Walk after selling off, tried to curl back up, made it to 4, then stalled out. And there were a few other ones that made moves yesterday as well that I don't remember the names of right now, and I don't see them on the continuation scanner, so they must have sold off today. I think it was TIDC, EICD, EDIC. This one made a move from 4 all the way up to $34 a share, which is insanity. Once again, almost another 1000% move. There were a couple other ones that I saw as well, but I was working, so I couldn't trade them, which is probably the most frustrating part, is that all of these big moves are happening in the afternoon while I'm working, and I can't trade them. And there's crickets during pre-market. There's nothing going on for the past few weeks, really, during pre-market, other than the occasional spikes, which is pretty frustrating. There's not much I can do about it. It's 7 a.m. here. There's not really much to watch either. PXF is our second leading gainer. Low view app right now, and it's a bit cheaper. It does have 3 million share float, but it needs to get back up to 240. Our top leading gainer is a 41 million share float, which is too high. Our third leading gainer is an 18 million share float, which is also too high. VNRG is up 34%, but I don't see news on it. And LNKS is up 31%. I do not see news on it either. So I get rid of some of these previous lines here that don't matter now, because it's way back when it was cheaper. This is ascending resistance line is kind of interesting because it did hold true here a little bit. Is it still holding true? Well, not sure. Looks like it may still be some support. Just leave it. I'm going to Ross's stream because I'm curious what he has to say. Ross makes a good point. CDIC may have gone up a ton, but it was by no means easy to trade. All the halts. My OOV is popping up, but it's got a 38 million share float. Just the leading gainer in an instant, up 140%. Crazy. 600,000 shares of volume in a single 1 minute candle. I mean, this would be something I would love to trade if it wasn't a 38 million share float. That's the only problem. I mean, it made a big move, up 127% right now, positioning to be our leading gainer. But I don't know if I can trust it with a 38 million share float. Is the float actually 38 million shares? In fact, Trading View says the float is even higher than that, 183 million shares. We had a big candle of selling volume there when it got up to 190. I don't particularly know if I can trust this to trade it, even though it is up 100%. The news looks good on it. It's cheaper, higher float. Probably out of my wheelhouse. We've been holding steady with discipline for the past couple of days. Don't really want to break it. Trading something with a higher float. That's outside of our rules. CTI, a bit of a garbage stock. It's revenue news. I usually don't like revenue news, but it says a 600% increase in gross profit. It's pretty good. Million share float, a bit cheaper at $2. It's only up 20%. Yeah, I don't think this is up enough yet. It's only up 16%. A bit cheaper at $2. The news I have mixed feelings about. Usually like revenue news, but the amount is up. So I don't know. It suddenly starts moving quickly over $3, then maybe I'll be interested in it. But for now, it seems kind of like a trashy stock. It's funny that you could put in emojis. Charles, buddy, get out of there. Get out of there, buddy. You shouldn't be in there. That's where all the cords are. Go lay down in the bed. Go lay down in the bed. Go lay down. There's a nice bed. Yeah, there's a nice bed. He likes to sniff around my feet for crumbs. Just don't like him being under there. It is good that we're seeing a few things moving though. YOV popping up really fast. HCTI popping up, even though it only popped up 20%, 30%. Hopefully that's a sign that we're getting some Momo back. After the moves yesterday, maybe people are going to get more excited. I think traders are waiting to jump on to something good. We just need a stock with a good catalyst and a good price and a good float. And it's probably gonna shoot up. We have to be prepared for that. Sentiment is a little bit warmer. This ended up selling off, unfortunately. YOOV curling back up. Previous high on this was 190. Stock is pretty thickly traded. So we're waiting for 7:30, 8 minutes. I think it's funny, Ross is trading from his car today. Goes to show you really can trade from anywhere. As long as you have an internet connection and a couple of monitors. I'd be curious to see how aggressive he is today. If there's anything that pops up that's moving, even on a laptop. No, no bigger monitors. So while we wait for 7:30, I'm just gonna eat a granola bar. So I'm just gonna turn off my camera. I'm still here. I'm just eating. Good for now. WXM suddenly moving. Another Chinese stock. Seems like we are having a bit of a Chinese sort of theme. YOOV. Forming a nice candle on the 5-minute here. It's too high of a float, so I wouldn't trade it. But a breakthrough 168 for first candle to make a new high on the 5-minute might do well. This would be a bit of a 5-minute ABCD pattern almost. Didn't break 168 there, so it would still be waiting for first candle to make a new high. But I'm waiting for news because it's 7:30 here, so we'll see if anything pops up. Oh, it has a higher float. 152 million shares. That's something I would trade. But it is moving nicely. see anything for 7:30 news. I keep seeing this blue sky question in Ross's community chat, and it's starting to become a pet peeve of mine. People people gotta scroll back. You can scroll back on the 1 day charts. Come on now. It is not blue sky. Technically it's a 52-week breakout because the last time it's been up this high, like if it gets up over whatever this price is here, I guess it is already up over it. 15, it's up at 17. So this would be a breakout. This last time it's been this high was 2021. So there wouldn't be any bag holders from this far back usually, because this is all the way back in 2011. So you don't really need to worry too much about this back here. Not blue sky, but it is a breakout. So maybe their question is entirely unfounded. You could call it kind of blue sky. Half blue, not completely blue. SNAL is in a bit of a window here. It's kind of interesting. It closed all the way up at 170, then it gapped down the next day. So technically this is like a kind of like a gap, but it's also a window because of the previous candle. They must have released offering news or something the day after they released some sort of big news that made it pop up all the way to 216 and 37 cents. I don't remember what news it was. This was kind of recent, back in April 14th, a month ago. I don't remember. But it is a 41 million share float and a cheaper price, so I don't really want to trade it, even though it is breaking out right now. Has the potential for some ascending resistance there. There was no news at 7:30 that caught traders' attention. We are still waiting. AIIO is a continuation from previous day. Made a regular move, or a move during regular hours. Up 400%. Breakout point is up here at 483. AIIO is 18 million share float though. Trading views says it's only 13 million. YOOV curling back to positive on MACD with increasing volume. Kind of got multi-time frame alignment right now with the 15-minute showing a nice hammer, 5-minute showing a hammer, breaking, trying to reclaim VWAP. Green-bodied candle and a bit of a dragonfly. Looks like it ended up doing a rejection there, interestingly enough. I'm interested to see if it continues holding the 20 and comes back up for a second try. It still has increasing volume. That candle closed green. I'm sticking to my rules and I'm not trading it. I'm just observing price action. Drops down to 150, then you got bidders stepping in to buy it back up. So if this breaks the high of this candle, 156, there's a good chance it'll break back through VWAP. And then shorts might get squeezed, in my opinion. Looks like it just ends up breaking down there instead. Not enough buying volume. We're just waiting for 8 a.m. in 9 minutes. One thing I didn't do is check the S&P 500 today. Opening up my phone reminded me down, 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 up, up, up. It was soil down today. Gapped up, down. Still at all-time highs. Very interesting. Very interesting indeed. All right, let's see what we got at 8 a.m. Not interested in any of the stuff popping up in the scans right now. DHL still has a ways to go before I'm interested in it. PGNX has a 9 million share float. It's a $1 stock. There's a lot of volume coming into it really quickly, but it's also only up 10%. DHL looking to break that pivot 550. Bit of a cup and handle on the 10-second there. 25 seconds left on that 1 minute. Ross bought the dip here for 26,000 shares. He ended up making $1,000 on it from 590 up to 6. See, anyone trying to copy his trade here would have gotten smoked. He bought at 582. When it rejected off of 6, he ended up selling. Sold half at 590. Sold the rest as it came back down. But you don't want to mirror trade. He got in at 580. It instantly went up to 590 in this candle because, he's buying 21,000 shares. That bit of volume would have pushed it up to 590. Anyone following in after would have gotten in high and then would have gotten smoked on that rejection. What I like to do with him is I like to mute him whenever I'm planning on trading something or during the bottom of the hour or the top of the hour when it gets close to when news is supposed to release. So I'm not affected by him. And then I'll unmute him if there's nothing interesting. Like there, I wasn't interested in trading AEHL. I opened up the level 2 and I opened up the chart just to see, but I really wasn't interested in getting in below the highs. So I had him unmuted there, but I mentioned that because I was watching Candyman's after hours stream the other day while I was working. I was watching some of the big movers that were happening, even though I couldn't trade them because I was busy. But someone in his chat mentioned about mirror trading. I think when you're new, there's a lot of people who will try to mirror trade Ross. And I did too, of course. When I first joined Warrior Trading as a new member, I had him unmuted and I was listening to him. Whether intentionally or unintentionally, he affected my decisions of the stocks that I was willing to trade and, when I would jump in. But it ends up confusing you more than helping you, if anything. Because you might have jumped in there on AEHL and then gotten smoked and had been like, well, why did he make $1,000 and I lost on it? Candy mentioned people getting addicted to random rewards. Like if it punched through 6 there, and you got in, but you didn't know why he got in, and you got in too high, it still could have been a bad trade, but you got saved by the fact that it actually punched through 6 and went higher. That's a random reward. It's not anything that you did. You didn't really make any decisions or got the proper entry off the dip like he did. But it's not a good thing. And I don't recommend anybody to mirror trade, and that's why I have it on my screen that anyone who tries to mirror trade me, especially, is going to lose money. I'm already struggling to make money, so anyone who tries to mirror me would be a fool's errand. Anyone who tries to mirror Ross is going to make some money, lose some money. They're going to go sideways, and they're going to get frustrated and end up blowing up their account. Especially if they try to follow his sizing practices where he just adds and they add every time he says add and it's the middle of a trade. He's a lot faster to unwind positions. But I don't mirror him anymore. I mute his stream most of the time. Focus on trading myself and improving myself. Now we're waiting for 8:15 and 8:30 because there was nothing interesting. MLBX popped up here, but I wasn't interested in it. I don't know if I mentioned that earlier. It's a 9 million share float, only $2, cheaper, not up enough on the day. Below the 20 and the 9 on the daily. Too many levels of resistance. Not interested. RGNX selling off, even though it has news. What's the news in this? It's news wasn't good, but it sells off a bit. I suppose I could have traded AEHL for this break through the pivot on this cup and handle pattern that I mentioned. All right. I'll start using the arrow maker instead of drawing my own arrows. Oops. Right. I'll use that. There we go. Right there. Would have been a potential entry. Yeah, that was the entry that I saw for the break through the pre-market pivot of 550. Right back here. I'm gonna click twice. Okay. So that's the entry that I saw, but I just wasn't sure about AEHL because we're below the highs. And this is our 4th day, well, our 5th day of continuation, actually. Continuation started all the way back down at May 8th on Friday. That's when the news first came out. Since then, it's been going up, up, up. but relative volume is below 5 on this. So I would rather my first trade to be something with news rather than to make a mistake. I would have taken this trade if I had more of a cushion on the week. But I don't want to make another mistake, go red, and then not have the opportunity to make it back tomorrow because tomorrow's Friday. So I really don't want my first week of small account challenge to be red. So I'm being very picky. But otherwise, I might have taken that trade for the break of the pre-market pivot. It is a technical breakout level. So I did see it, but I didn't want to take the pullback there. They're riskier. I keep forgetting I gotta click twice on that. Try to use that arrow bit better. Well, hopefully we get news at 8:30, or else I'll regret not taking that trade, because then it'll be a third no trade day in a row. I'll erase these markers back here. Just look like junk on the screen now. This high back here was 606. Got a bull flag on the 5-minute. Don't like these topping tails though. Why did I mark all the way up at 650? Oh, I guess that was a previous daily level. No, that was 1044. What was 650? This is 634, 635. Sure. Might have been something on the daily chart, but doesn't matter. So this was a retest of that support level. The candle was very quick to form in the last few seconds. You break through 6. Do we hold 6? Problem is that the high is at 635, and at the point that it reaches 635, it would be a bit extended. We also had that harsh rejection back at 6 previously, so once again, it rejected a second time. The best place of entry would be closer to support, which is 550, which is the pre-market pivot area. But I've been sticking to my guns on the fact that I want to trade something that's either holding up above the highs. So if this gets above 635 and holds, then that could make traders excited because we've been having these big moves. Some people might think, oh well, this is going to go up to 10, might go up to 14 or 15. But right now, I don't really want to trade it in this area. I want to trade something with fresh news. And it's being very, very choppy. Popping up, rejecting, popping up, rejecting. So on this, the best entry would have been right there on that 1 minute candle for the retest of the support level. Hammer. At the same time, this candle was a 5 minute close. 6 minutes to 8:30. Hopefully we get something with some fresh news. If we don't, well, attention is probably going to come back to AEHL. And we might see it break through the highs at that point if we don't have any news. This is up 62%. And the other top 5 or top 4 leading gainers aren't really that worth focusing their attention on. We'll have to see what happens here in the next 10 minutes. So something you'll notice with me is that even though there were 2 opportunities there, my hands weren't on the keyboard at all. I basically have 2 modes that I've been in. I have power saving mode, which is the mode I'm in right now. I'm basically not doing anything. I'm not tempted to jump into any trades. Power saving mode is just a matter of stock selection and setup selection. I'm looking at the stock and the price and the area that it's trading in, and I'm saying this isn't an area that I'm interested in trading at all right now because of the things I mentioned before. So power saving mode, hands off. Even if there are opportunities here, not touching them. And then I have focus mode, which is when I see something that I like and then I get an order ready and I'm looking for an actual setup to get in. But right now we're in power saving mode. I don't want to be clammed up by decision fatigue by the time an actual opportunity comes out. In other words, I'm saving my bullets for if something with news at 8:30 comes out that looks good. About 1 minute to 8:30. Hands on the keyboard. Let's see what we got. Do we have anything? RT. I looked at the stock previously. All-time highs are up at 1910. I don't think the stock has had any higher than that. No, been up to 24 before, but the most recent breakout is up above 19 on this stock. Very old stock. So it's not blue sky, but it is a breakout above 19 here. But looks like it's not really moving. It popped up there for a second. It does have news. Revenue growth, 124%. There's a bit of a pivot at 14. I don't know, earnings news generally isn't strong, but it's also a higher price of $10. Oh, it looks like Ross took a second trade on AEHL and he lost on it. Down 64 bucks. I mean, that's kind of just affirming to me that my decision to not touch AEHL in the range that it's trading in is the correct decision. Like I said, there were two opportunities there that I saw to get in lower, a bit more safely on that cup and handle on the first breakout of the pre-market high, and the second opportunity on the retest of the pre-market high, closing a nice hammer. But I don't, in this market, I really don't want to lower my quality standard just to take a trade, because it could really burn me. Down $7 on Monday, lowering my quality standard to take trades on the stock that was up over 100%. And you know, I did fill too high on two of my trades. I could have ended that day green if I was more careful about my order entry. But still, it was a B quality setup. It was up over 100%, sure, but it was higher float, higher price, easy to borrow. So, you know, if there's no quality stocks for me to pick from that aren't trading above the highs, breaking out on the front side of the move, up 30%, with a good float, I'm not going to touch them. Just can't. It's not my strategy. It is frustrating to hear about all of the regular hours movers going up 1,000%, 3,000% later in the day when I can't trade. I don't feel frustrated right now because, as I said, you don't think about the taxi goes when you get out. It's out of my control, but it is a little bit annoying to have nothing moving during all of pre-market for 3 days in a row now, pretty much. I'd meet my quality standard. They don't really meet Ross's quality standard either. He lowered his quality standard there to take a trade on AEHL, but didn't really serve him well. This stock is a higher float too, cheap price, probably easy to borrow. Like I said, still below the moving averages on the daily. We have the 20 EMA at 245. You're gonna have resistance at 250. And the more I trade, the more I'm seeing the dangers for a beginner trader. Like if you lower your quality standard to trade a bunch of this stuff and you get smoked and you start jumping into everything you see moving, like MOBX, oh it's moving, it's breaking out. Jump in at 220. Oh well, now it's just selling off. You can really, really spiral in a market like this. What else is moving? SNAL, higher float, 41 million share float. Jump into this while it's curling. You might get rewarded up to 160. Curious to see what it would do. I'm going a little bit stir crazy, doing nothing. But this is the strategy that we have chosen. It'll work when it works. Bouncing off that ascending resistance. Is Ross in the car wash? Someone in chat said he trades in the car wash. I had the stream muted for a while. Did he go into the car wash? That's hilarious if he did. I like it. Trade everywhere. Talking about Ross. Trade in the car wash. Trade while picking up your mother's groceries. I mean, there are some people that trade on their phones pretty much everywhere. Those people are mostly swing traders, though. Walk moving up again. Walk never dies. Look at the amount of volume. 150 million shares of volume, May 11th. 80 million shares of volume, Tuesday the 12th. 200 million shares of volume on the 13th. I was thinking about these moves that I couldn't trade during regular and after hours. I was just calculating in my mind the amount of money that you could make exponentially if you could see the future and you could buy this on the way up and short it on the way down. Buy it on the way up, short it on the way down. Buy it on the way up, short it on the way down. Buy it on the way up, all the way up, short it all the way down. Oh man, you can make so much money if you could see the future on something like that. Even here, it dropped down to $1, went back up to 4, came all the way back down to $1.50. We're back up at 2. Can I go back up to 4? AIIO looking to break out here. It's a 19 million share float though. Float is too high. So see if there's any news here at 8:45. Otherwise, we're waiting for 9 a.m. MOBX curling. What's it doing? It's curling back up to 225 here. MOBX made a move on the 12th back here. Fairly close by. Had resistance up at 240. It breaks up 240, then it has room all the way up to 3. Like I said, though, higher float, lower price, probably easy to borrow. Curious if I open up the level 2, what it looks like. Thickly traded, stacked on the buy and the ask, and the bid and the ask. I mean, this stock would need to break 250 for me to be interested in trading it. Right now, I'm not interested. AHL making another attempt here. In the 5-minute chart, we got one bull flag. We got the second bull flag. Bouncing off 550 again. A little bit of a bull flag, increasing volume after the fresh move, the bounce off 550. MACD's crossing over. 50 seconds left on that 5-minute candle. So we're grinding up Mm. What's going on with AEH? MobiX, are you finally moving? Up 36%, still thickly traded. Like I said, I'm looking for a break of 250 on this, a break and hold of 250 for me to be interested in trading it. Right now we're bouncing off of a previous daily level. Break 250, then we might have room up to 3. But you know, do I really want to trade this? Even if it breaks 250 as a 9 million share float and a cheaper price? I don't know. Do I lower my quality standard to trade it? Rare earth minerals news, 40%. It certainly hasn't been trading easy back here. 250. Got increasing volume. I was 264. High volume selling. I don't know. I don't think I want to trade it in MobiX. I think I'm gonna leave it alone. Too thickly traded. High volume selling. This is a bull flag. The volume profile doesn't look good though. Until false breakout. I don't know with TDIC. TDIC, I was 34. Bounce off the lows. VWAP, not interested. Two minutes to 9 a.m. We got 1 minute left on that 5-minute candle on MOBX. The only way I would consider trading it here is if it closes green for the breakthrough 260. But the volume profile doesn't look very good. If it suddenly had a spike of volume right now, it would be an ABCD pattern. Nope, now the chart's ruined. That big red candle in the 5-minute. Unfortunate. These close to crossing. I'm watching for 9 a.m. news. Last chance. It's really a mystery to me how pre-market is so slow after we just had a bunch of big movers during regular hours. It's pretty insane. MLBX breaking out here, but I'm not trading it. It's too thickly traded. What am I gonna make on it? 10 cents up to 275. It's just not worth the risk. TRT popping up a little bit, but it's on very light volume right now. Hey, Bass. Yeah, this is probably going to be a third no trade day in a row for me. This is the slowest I've seen it since like December. The choppiest. Really bad timing for me to start my small account challenge. But good timing to test my patience. Hopefully your trades have been going well if you've been taking any trades. I wish I could stay around for regular market hours and after hours, since that seems to be the theme right now. Pre-market is dead, but after hours has been popping off. Like around 2 p.m. up till like 5:30 maybe after hours. Seems to be where people are sitting down to trade right now, considering the moves that we've had on Walk, EDIC, AHL. I have a job, so I can't. Frustrating. Chicago's napping peacefully. Volume is slowly coming into TRT here, but I don't know if I want to take a trade at 10 after 9 with no cushion on a higher price stock with a light volume on, I believe it's just, yeah, it's just revenue news. And we have some people focusing on MOBX right now because it's grinding higher. We've still got some people trading AEHL. As it is right now, I can't manage my risk on it because it's too light volume, bigger spreads, almost a 20-cent spread. Maybe if it picks up in volume and breaks 14, it has room up to 16 and then up to 20. Grindy, grindy. I'm not even sure if I would consider trading MLBX into the open. Pretty extended on the 5 minute. The only one that I might consider trading into the open would be AEHL for breakthrough. Previous high of 635. 9 minutes to the open. I don't know. Would love to get a trade. But if there's nothing, then can't do anything about it. Now this is below VWAP. MOBX is closing with a nice hammer on the 5-minute. MACD's curling back up. I thought about it, but I don't know. It's too late in the day. We're too close to the opening bell as well. I don't usually like trading close to the opening bell. Ross is in this right now. A little bit dangerous. This is the first pullback after a breakout of 308. He's in a little bit of a dangerous position, but first candle to make a new high is 315. So Ross ended up having to cut it. Yeah. It's the problem with these stocks. I mean, Ross ended up getting in on this micro pullback, but it doesn't end up pulling away. Has to sell it down here. My best entry, if I were to get in this, would be for first candle to make a new high on the 5-minute at 304, and then wait for it to come up to 320 for a 15-cent winner. It's just, it's so grindy that it's almost not worth it to even touch it. If you're one of the ones that got down here and held all the way up here for a swing trade, sure, but it's not my strategy. It's outside of my float range, you know, just not worth it. I thought about it up here in case it did pull away, but I don't know. Even at the open here, we're going to get some increased volume, but I just don't know if I can trust it. We'll see. First 2 to 3 minutes of the open, I don't touch. High of day on this was 322. Halt bands up at 355. AHL kind of selling off. There's not really anything else I'm interested in at the open. Now, with the volume of the opening bell, if it does break 322, might be a little bit more confident to be able to take 15-20 cents of profit on a stock like this. But we'll just have to see. Up 73%. So 2 million shares of buying volume at the open, kind of holding the 9 EMA on the 1 minute for right now. I say that and then it sells off. Would this be a red to green move from VWAP is the question. I might consider a red to green move for the break back through 3. It comes back up through 3. Seems heavy. Break 3, I'll take a position looking for 320. Top is 301. So just in and out there. It popped up to 340. And came back down to 320. So I just took the profit and booked it. I don't like that big topping tail. We got a 15-cent winner on it. 306 up to 322, or a 16-cent winner. 16 bucks. Not bad. Would have been nice to take the profit up at 340, but it was very fast. Price action is kind of choppy. Now it's going up into a halt up. So I don't think I'm going to take any more trades. I got a nice gap and go trade from the break of 3, buying at 306 for the pop here. But I just don't like how choppy it was. Pops up, drops down, curls back up. Even here, it popped up to 350 and then kind of rejected back down to 340. So I was nervous to get in here for the break of 350. It ended up working. It's just the previous price action kind of scared me off from getting in for the break of 350. And I don't think I'm going to trade the dip and rips. I don't have time to sit around and wait for AHL to come back up. Let me check. Now that I finally have a trade, I can check and see how this looks here. So I can shorten some of that. Leave that like that. Last time updated. How does that look on stream? I guess you can't see most of it. Price average 306. Is there something that I can add? Last price? Oh no, that's not the right one. What about price out? Yeah, that works, I think. So you guys got the important information on the close positions then there. All right, good enough. So I guess I'm going to do my recap because there's nothing else I'm interested in trading right now, and I do have to go soon. So I finally got a trade, so it's not a third no trade day in a row for the red green move on the gap and go here. Or let's trade right here for the breakthrough $3 and that spike there on the 10-second. So I recognize on the 1 minute chart here that we closed with a bit of a dragonfly after the bounce off of VWAP. If I was really ballsy, I could have bought the bounce off VWAP, but I waited for confirmation. Usually for these red to green moves, according to Ross's strategy when he talks about red to green moves, you usually wait for it to come back up 50% of the way from where it dropped. So I got in at 3 as the $half whole dollar is about 50% of the way there. And it spiked up to 340, but I just took profit immediately because I didn't like how it rejected off of 340 like that. I could have sold half and waited for it to come up, but I was already wary of the stock in the first place because of its higher float. A dip and rip on this, I guess, have worked up to 420 if you sold quickly, but it's you see how choppy it's trading. Pops up to 420, drops down to 380, pops back up to 410, drops back down to 370, drops up to pops up to 416, drops back down. I don't think it's worth my time to stay around and trade this. You know, considering that there's been a lot of moves during regular hours in the past few days, a lot of big movers, there probably will be something again that pops up. But I gotta go to work, so we got our one trade for the day, which is good. 16 bucks on the day, 15 bucks after commissions. We made back our loss that we had on Monday. So we're at least up a few bucks for the week. Even if there's no trades tomorrow, then I will be proud of my discipline. And I would say that it's a good week not to touch anything that I shouldn't have. Ugh. All right. Well, that's going to be it for me. Thanks to everyone who stopped by and watched today. I'll be back at it again 7 a.m. Eastern Time tomorrow. But until then, take care, stay green. I'll see you next time. Peace.